Welcome in. You are listening to Just an Average Podcast with your hosts, Jake and Casey. A little different today, Casey. We're doing a Monday podcast. Usually we do our Sunday podcast and upload them on Tuesday. So quick little turnaround here. Monday, I actually just got back from Wisconsin like 3 hours ago. Left
Really?
Thursday of last week, went to Lake Geneva, and got back this morning at like 1. But do I have a story for you? So I left Thursday, went to Lake Geneva. Friday rolls around, and I started getting like a really bad like tooth pain, like up in my gums a little bit. And I'm like, man, this kind of hurts. Took some ibuprofen. Didn't think much of it. Saturday rolls around, pain intensifies a little bit. I go and get some gum gel, local Walgreens there, put that on there, kind of gets rid of the pain a little bit. Sunday, pain continues to get worse. So Sunday night, I went to bed. I wasn't feeling good. Went to bed at like, 9:30, 10 o'clock. Woke up at like 12:30, just excruciating gum pain, and went out, took ibuprofen and put gum gel on. Went back to bed laying in there, and woke back up probably a couple hours later, and I'm like, I gotta put some ice on this or something. Put ice on it, laid in bed for about 15 minutes. Mind you, in Wisconsin, in like a condominium, I finally reached over and I shook Kimmy and I go, hey, I'm going to the emergency room. So got up 3 o'clock in the morning, drove myself to the emergency room. Went in there, like this pain was terrible. Went in there and like the doctor looked at me and he's like, oh, it looks like you have like a hole in your tooth. They gave me a shot. Sitting in the emergency room, like 3 o'clock in the morning, they gave me a shot and gave me like some pills. I don't know what it was they gave me, but made me feel better instantly. Like the shot especially made me feel better. Went back home. I got home like 5 o'clock, 4:30, 5 o'clock. Fell asleep for like an hour and a half. Woke back up, felt great. They told me to get into the dentist like as soon as I got back. So drove all the way back we left at like 9:30. Drove all the way back to Illinois. And then I actually went, we stopped in Galesburg to get gas, and I had her mom's car, Kimmy's mom's car. Drove Kimmy's mom's car to Lewiston, straight to the dentist. He went there and looked at it. I didn't have a hole in my tooth. I had like pulpitis or something like that is what it's called. Anyway, it's like kind of like a gum, I think it's like a gum disease, whatever. But essentially what it was is like I didn't have like an abscess or whatever in my gums. But he's like, well, we can do one of two things. He goes, we can either do a root canal or we can pull the tooth. So here we go, hour and a half, about an hour, 45 minutes sitting in there, get a root canal as soon as I get back to Lewiston. Get a root canal, getting my cap put on my tooth Thursday. So these last 24 hours have been insane. I mean, on the way home, like my whole mouth was like, it took a while. Like I said, they put on Ant-Man for me. I was watching Ant-Man while I was getting my tooth worked on, but it gave me shots all up in there. And I will tell you right now, the worst pain that I have felt in a while, like they numbed all the way. No, not even that. It was, so they gave the shot in the gums. They usually do it on the outside, right? As he's drilling into my...
No, they do it on the inside.
Yeah, well, he went right into the root and numbed it, and it sent a shock. I think my eye twitched about 6 times, and like that actually hurt. Like usually I'm pretty good at the dentist, but man, that hurts. So here we are. I'm running on about 3 hours of sleep. Got my tooth here all ready to go for... Feels so much better. I mean, he basically went in there and just killed everything. He said when he's drilling into it, he's like, all right, well, this one's already dead. Like one of the roots was already dead. So it was like swollen a little bit. But I can honestly say that tooth pain was top 5 pain I have felt in a while.
Tooth pain's not the mess around with.
It was terrible. But I was laying in bed and I was almost in tears. I go, Kimmy, I got to go to the emergency room. Just drove myself there at 3 o'clock in the morning. I could not stand it. Luckily, I was the only one there. I was in and out in like an hour and a half, which was really nice.
The worst pain one of the worst pain I was in was we were on vacation, or we were on vacation. I think it was our honeymoon actually, and I ate something and I already had like a cavity in my wisdom tooth, and I was going to go get it messed with and stuff like that. And you know, it was the only wisdom tooth, or it was the only wisdom tooth that ever had any problems. All the other wisdom teeth actually grew in, and like I've never had any problems with them. Like they all grew in perfect. Never had getting them taken out. Nothing.
I bought all mine taken out.
So I take a bite of something, and I heard like a
Cracked.
and it took like half of my tooth out, like not half, like a quarter of my tooth out.
Yeah.
And went to the dentist, and they did it right. He did it right there. And mind you, this one was grown up. So like the roots were underneath and deep and everything. Like he was shaking trying to pull my tooth out. Like he was like struggling.
Jeez.
Like he was like shaking and like pulling on my mouth and everything. And it took him like over an hour just to pull that tooth.
That's insane. Yeah,
singed my tongue.
Yeah,
with the thing. So I had like a gash in my tongue. I didn't feel it, but I could smell it, like the burnt skin.
Yep. I could.
So that never hurt actually. But I think the reason it never hurt is because I had dry socket, and I will tell you that dry socket is the worst pain that you could possibly have.
Yeah. He numbed me
so bad,
like crazy when he did this. So yeah, figured I'd start the podcast off with story time. I mean, what a crazy series of events, though. Obviously, like being in Wisconsin, granted, Lake Geneva is like it's only 4 hours away, but when you have tooth pain, and I mean, so like right when we started getting back, I think we got to Galesburg, like my tooth started like kind of throbbing again. I'm like, oh no, like I was like kind of speeding to get to Lewiston, but yeah, got there and like literally got there. He looked at it and he's like, all right, this is where we can either do this or this. And it was like, boom, already started, ready to go. So
yeah, he does a pretty good job of just getting it done and not like sending you home with something else before he gets done.
Yeah, that was a blast. So, yeah, so a nice little thing to start the podcast off with. And I also let's transition now over to more of the podcast side of things. Now that we've got the stories out of the way, we're going to actually start off a little different today. We're going to pull up the bracket, the Jim Carrey bracket. This is our championship. Do you have any guesses? Our final two were Liar Liar and Ace Ventura. Do you have any guesses?
Well, just seeing all the comments and everything from everyone, it's Ace Ventura. 100%.
And I do get a lot of personal messages sent to me as well. So I will go ahead and pull it up here. I just want to show you really quick. Here is the Jim Carrey bracket here. And Casey, as you predicted, Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, was the winner. So really good bracket, really good turnout, really good interaction from people that voted on these. I will say this was kind of a runaway. I think 3 people voted on Liar Liar, and everybody else voted for Ace Ventura. So,
and I'm telling you right now, Ace Ventura went through the gauntlet to get.
It was the number 6 seed. It really did. It was over there with The Mask. It was over there with The Grinch. It was over there with a lot of really good.
Dumb and Dumber.
Not taking anything away from Bruce Almighty, me, myself, and Irene, but I definitely think the right side of the bracket was a lot harder.
Yeah,
but yeah, number 6 seed pulling through, getting the win. Just want to thank everybody, though, that voted on these. Also want to give a shout out to Forget the World Movies over there on TikTok. If you get a chance, go ahead and check them out. Connor covers movies all the time, talks about premieres, movies he's going to see. Very knowledgeable. So if you guys are big movie buffs, definitely check him out on TikTok. We actually have another bracket we're starting today that is going to tie into this podcast. So today's podcast, we are talking video games, Casey. This is maybe a little bit of nostalgia video games, kind of how video games have evolved a little bit, some forgotten gems in there. So we've got a lot to cover in this next hour. So we're not going to waste any time. Let's go ahead and start off kind of with our video games. Obviously, me and you both played video games growing up. What was your console of choice growing up? Did you have a console of choice at all?
So, like, when I first started playing video games, it was the Super Nintendo. And then had the PS2.
Oh, straight to PS2.
Yeah, I never had anything in between there. And then I also had a what was that? I had a PSP.
Okay, then, I had one of those as well.
And then went from the PS2 to an Xbox 360. And then to the Xbox One, and then PS4 and all that. So,
see, I never had the Xbox One. I went Xbox 360. to PS, was it Xbox 360 to PS4? I think so. And then I've had a PC ever since. So I haven't invested in like the PS5 or the Xbox.
There's no point if you got the PC.
Yeah, I can get everything on it. But I would say, I was never like Team Xbox or, Team PlayStation. I went back and forth. I really did. I enjoyed them both. Both have really fun consoles. Had a lot of fun on the Nintendo 64 growing up as well. That's something we'll kind of get into as this podcast goes on. So first question for you, and this is for the audience listening as well. What's the most slept on video game you played growing up? Most slept on video game.
Slept on video game. I thought we have two, right? Or is that
if you want to say two, you're more than welcome to. I just have one. I have one game that no one else really played except I literally think I was the only person that played this game. Maybe you did. I don't know.
Okay, I am going with mine. I'm going Driver.
Driver. Okay, explain. I've never heard of Driver. I don't know what.
So Driver is this. It came out in 1999. I played it on PlayStation. It's a PlayStation game that I played on the PS2.
Okay.
You're an undercover cop who works for this criminal outfit to investigate their operations. So you're basically this undercover cop, and you drive like these undercover vehicles and stuff like that, and like it's like super, like the graphics are terrible. Like the graphics are really not very good at all.
Yeah.
And like if you hit you have like a damage thing on your car, and if like your damage goes all the way down, then the mission is over. So pretty much you got to try and drive like really, really good and all that, and do all that stuff and do the missions and stuff like that, and try not to get busted.
Nice. I've never played that. My game though, also a driving game. It was, I don't know if you ever heard of this game. It was Test Drive Eve of Destruction. Maybe not.
I don't know.
2004 game is when it released. I played it on the PS2. So basically, it's a demolition derby game. So basically, you could get this car, you could upgrade these cars, you could go to demolition derbies. They had figure 8 races. They had all these different kind of races. I know they've done like newer games. Like Splat was one, or whatever it was called. They did in like the later 2010s. That was one, but I don't think any game really compares to Test Drive Eve of Destruction. And those of you that are listening, if you know of a game that is just as fun as that game was, definitely leave it in the comments, because that was one of my games that I thought was underrated, but I absolutely loved playing it. It was a blast. It was a lot of fun. Any games that made you lose track of time as a kid? I think there was a lot, obviously, that made us lose track of time just because we were kids and, playing video games, kind of get lost in time there. I get lost being down here doing schoolwork on my computer, so I can only imagine how much time I lost.
So are we talking like just games that we played for hours on end and just
something that you kept busy? So something like, I'll start. So mine was Spyro. Do you remember the game Spyro? I had this for the original PlayStation. So Spyro was a dragon game. Basically, it had different levels, different paths, different routes you could take. You had to collect all these dragon eggs, save all these other dragons that are in prison, whatnot, rescue them. And when it came out, I can't remember the date that it came out. It was probably 1999, I want to say, right around there. I was, 5, 6 at the time. I was stuck on the beginning mission forever trying to collect just one egg. And like I said, there was so many different paths and routes that you could take that you could get lost. You could get lost forever, just looking in every nook and cranny for these eggs and everything. And that was a game that I'd sit down, maybe start playing, and then you look at the time and 4 hours had passed. And you're like, oh my goodness, I need to go outside and do something because this is ridiculous. I've been trying to fly over here and capture this one egg for the past, hour and a half, 2 hours, and not making any progress. So Spyro was definitely a game that I lost track of time playing.
I got a couple actually, but I'm not sure if this. I'm looking through this.
I have another one too. I'm gonna go ahead and let you do yours, and I'll do my next one.
This one's. I was thinking of the question that's in segment 2. So the game that made me just lose track of time, I'm going Guitar Hero. I played that game so much. I played that game so much. And then you're trying to how you're trying to get all these songs unlocked, and you're just playing and playing and playing. Next thing you know, it's 5 hours later, 6 hours later, and you're like, I haven't blinked once and my hands are sore and I haven't.
Yeah.
I need to go get a drink and some food and
What
start
was
doing
your
something else.
what was your what's the word? Your oh, what was your choice? I don't know why I can't think of the word I'm looking for. What was your,
Like your go-to
instrument
song?
of choice?
Oh,
Instrument of choice. Sorry, yeah. What was your instrument of choice?
Honestly, it was controller.
You played on the controller? You played Guitar Hero but played it on the controller?
So I played it
Okay.
with the guitar. And then
Okay,
I
yeah.
found out that I was really, really, really good with the controller. So
Yeah.
I would play all the songs on expert with the controller. And I would just play like all the songs that I don't know, I'd play I could play hard on the guitar.
Yeah.
But I really liked being challenged and playing like really, really tough songs. So like when I would do that, I would play with the controller because I was really good with the controller.
That I don't think I've ever heard anybody playing with a controller.
Yeah,
on
I played the
Guitar Hero. What's the point of Guitar Hero? You don't even need. You just buy the disc. You don't even need to buy the guitar or the drums.
It's just the. I mean,
Triangle, circle, square, X.
it was like L1, L2, R1, R2, and then like X. So that's how it was.
Cheating. I feel like that's cheating.
It was awesome.
I know the songs that I actually knew. I would play the guitar and then I'd just sing. I would sing as well. So I had a mic stand, so I just played the guitar.
Yeah, you're actually playing Rock Band. You're doing it all. You're doing the singing and the guitar.
Oh yeah, Rock Band. Yeah, I don't know why I thought guitar. Yeah, Rock Band. I also had American Idol. I don't know why. The only song I knew on American Idol was Sweet Dreams, and I would sing that song over and over and over again. Oh my goodness, Howie did not like it. Or not Howie. Simon did not like it. Was not a fan of me singing that song over and over again. But what fun games!
Pick a different song.
Yeah, I don't know any other ones, Simon. I'm only 12 years old. Oh man, it was a blast. Though. It was a lot of fun.
Come down here and listen to me audition for American Idol.
I would remember. I would get so frustrated because they hated my voice. I'd have my mom come in. And can you sing a different song, please?
Did they have Sherry on there?
That dude, I'm not gonna lie. The only song that I knew was "Sweet Dreams." So if they had it on there, I didn't know it at the time. But yeah, I definitely probably could have sang that one. Oh my gosh!
I remember doing that. I remember you doing that at
those were
at the
really
talent show.
Yeah. Yeah. What a blast that was. You brought up though.
Oh man.
You brought up, well, you just have the one. Then I have another one, though, that I completely forgot about until we just started this, and it was The Simpsons Hit and Run. I don't know if you ever played The Simpsons Hit and Run. Yeah. Oh, my gosh. I think that's probably everybody's game. They could have got lost playing that game because you could do so much. It wasn't just like the missions. It was fun just to get in the cars and drive around.
And hit people.
Well, yeah. And like there's the crazy cars they had, like the Homer car, or the car built for Homer or whatever was a blast to go around, and you could get in Snake's car, and it was fun. Yeah. Apu's car was so fast. But a lot of fun games, dude. I feel like we'll get into that more, but I feel like games, kind of gone downhill, but that's a conversation we'll save for a later segment here. All right, now we're on to console. So, your favorite generation of console. So if you could go back to one console generation, like they started with like generation 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and they progressed as you went on. Maybe you interpreted that differently. I didn't kind of specify that as much in the notes. But
I'm just going straight to the Super Nintendo.
Nintendo.
Whatever that was, that console, and I think the Nintendo 64 might have been around then too.
It was generation 5 was the Nintendo 64. Yeah. So let's see what generation you said. Super Nintendo?
Oh yeah.
It was 4th generation. So your 4th generation console. Obviously the Super Nintendo was 1 in there. So yep, Super Nintendo, the Genesis, Neo Geo, Compact Disc Interactive. So there was quite a few. Turbo Graphics. Oh my gosh! So I just Super Nintendo.
I just want the Super Nintendo. That's all I care about.
There's a lot of weird on here.
Give me the Super Nintendo. I don't need any other console.
I never had a Super Nintendo, but mine would be the Gen 5. The Gen 5 had your Sega. I never had a Sega. Had the original PlayStation, had Nintendo 64, and it had...
That's a good one too.
What else did I have in there? Make sure I get this right.
I had the GameCube.
I think it's just. Oh no, I think I had something else that I didn't play. I think the Sega was the one that I didn't play, but there was a lot of fun games, especially on PlayStation, Nintendo 64. Nintendo 64 Super Smash Bros. Love playing Super Smash Bros. I can imagine the original PlayStation was actually the first console I ever got. I think I got it for like my 5th or 6th birthday. And I remember I played Ratchet and Clank and Crash Bandicoot were like the 2 games that I had on there, and I played the heck out of those. And Spyro, played the heck out of those games on that console. And then obviously Super Smash on Nintendo 64, Mario Kart, Pokemon, one of the Pokemon games. There was just so many good games you could get from those. And obviously Nintendo 64, you had the cartridges, not like now where you just press a button and play your game. We're sitting there blowing in them and beating them on the ground.
The funny thing is that they said that like blowing in didn't
do anything.
It didn't do anything, but it worked. Every single time you did it.
Yeah.
It worked every single time.
If there's someone telling me, no, that doesn't work, I beg to differ, because you know what? After I did it, guess what? My game played.
Yeah.
So
every time.
Oh my god.
Better than ever.
Yeah. So now let's kind of transition a little bit to our favorite games of all time. So these we're gonna have 3 different categories here. We're gonna have a nostalgic favorite. We're gonna have our personal GOAT, so the game we think is the greatest of all time, and then a game that changed our view on gaming. So 3 games back and forth. We can alternate back and forth here. I'll let you go ahead and go first on this.
So we're going to go nostalgic first.
Let's go nostalgic. So a nostalgic favorite, a game that you could play now and you're like, oh man, this brings back the memories.
I'm going Super Mario Bros. On the Super Nintendo.
I love that.
And that's specifically the one where they're in the castle and he's spraying the fire. The first Super Mario Bros.
Super Mario was a blast. I think I actually had that one as well on the Super Nintendo, but mine along the same lines here. I'm going Super Smash Bros. I already brought it up. Super Smash Bros. Nintendo 64. I would play that all the time growing up. We'd have people over. We'd play it at home. I remember taking it to school and playing it at school with like Picorni. Like we'd set up Picorni and come down and play with us in the library. Like that game is just, I mean, I could go back right now and I think I prefer it on the Nintendo 64 more than like the remakes. Obviously they've remade it on Wii. It's still good. You get more characters and whatnot, but I don't think you can beat the original. Nope. I think it's, I mean, I'm not going to say it's underrated, but I feel like, a new game comes out with, more characters, more maps. And it's just like, okay, yeah, that's the shiny new thing, but give me the old one that I grew up on playing. I think, that one, you can't beat it. Cannot beat it. All right. What is your GOAT game? A game that you just love to play. And it can be your GOAT. Like I realize there's a lot of games out there that people enjoy, but they don't love. And I feel like I'm going to get a lot of slack for my pick.
So I want to pick one that, so I'm going to pick 2, and I'm going to pick one that I really, really enjoyed playing and could have played it forever. And it's not even a console game. It is a computer game.
Okay.
And and the other one is a console game that I just absolutely love playing.
I don't think where your computer game would be. Is it RuneScape?
It is RuneScape.
Is it? Okay, yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my god.
I was saying like that's a game everybody loves.
I would spend so many hours in the summer at the library with like 4 or 5 other people just sitting in there just constantly like signing in and signing out. Like you can only be on for an hour, so we'd take like a 5-10 minute break and come back in and get on the computer or wait and see if someone was going to take it.
Yeah.
And then I would go home and play it, and dude, RuneScape was, oh man, dude, I played RuneScape so much it was not even funny.
So maybe maybe I shouldn't tell you though before you go on here. Have you seen the new one they came out with?
No, see, I'm the OG. I'm a RuneScape
Yeah.
OG guy.
Well, they just came out with RuneScape Dragon Wilds, and I've been watching gameplay on it, and I think it's in beta right now, but it looks good. And I mean, it looks really good. So if you have a chance, check that out.
I can't get sucked back into stuff like that.
Yeah, I know. I've been wanting to get it. I'm on the edge right now because I'm like, if I buy this, I'm going to invest a lot of hours into it, and I don't have time to do that. So.
I got too much golf to do and all that.
Yeah,
and all
that's
that.
Fair. Here it is. But golf. We got 25 minutes in before it got brought up. Oh my goodness, that's all right. All right.
Oh man. All right. And then my console game is Modern Warfare 2.
Modern Warfare 2. And that's you just love that game.
GOAT game. Yes. Goat. That's the first person shooter game that I fell in love with, and the first multiplayer game that I played. We would literally sit in there'd be 4 of us in a house, and we would play all 4 on the same screen, about as big as what our screens look like right now.
Yep.
And you're sitting there just staring like this far from the TV trying to play. And there'd be times when we would play like 2v2 or 1v1, like we do 1v1 tournaments. And we would do that, like where you see those like memes on Facebook and on the internet where they put like a piece of cardboard or they put something above one and we would literally do camp like that.
Yep, we would too.
So you wouldn't cheat. We would get so mad when people would cheat.
No screen peeking. No screen peaking.
They would screen peek and camp and stuff like that. Yeah, that's a game that I absolutely fell in love with, and that's what made me get into Call of Duty. Was Modern Warfare 2. That game was just so good. The graphics were unbelievable for its time.
Oh for sure.
Everything that and Halo. Halo really.
Dang it! You took.
Sorry. But Halo was up there too. But we played Modern Warfare like no other.
Yeah.
But that's a close second for me.
I have 2 as well. One is like having your friends over playing a game like LAN parties, and one's just my personal. I love playing this game. I don't know why I love playing this game because it's frustrating, but I'll go to like you said, it was Halo. That was one like every single day after school, have guys over, sitting in the house playing, because Halo had all those different. You could do rocket launchers, rocket launchers over, or you could do Slayer, or you could do Infected. I mean, there were so many different things you could do. I think Slayer and Infected are kind of the same thing, but you could do on Halo, snipers only, whatever you wanted to do, and it was just a blast. It was a little bit different, obviously, than Call of Duty, but like you said too, I remember me and Josh got into altercations because I swear always he would screen peek, and we would do the same thing where I'm like, put a blanket there or something across where it was top screen, bottom screen, so they weren't looking at your screen when you were playing. But what a blast. Like, you don't get that anymore. Obviously, video games have evolved, and we're going to transition into that segment here in a little bit. But nothing beats that, dude. Nothing beats coming home after, a Friday after school with all your friends. Maybe you're having a sleepover. Someone else brings over their Xbox. You guys both have a copy of Halo. You're doing a LAN party, so you're connecting the screens. You've got, a total of eight little mini screens up, and everybody's playing Halo. What a blast. I love that. My personal, though, when I'm playing by myself, and I don't know why everybody's going to hate me for this pick, because it's probably not a good pick, and I understand, but I'm sucked in, and I can't stop buying the game, and it's Madden. Like, I buy Madden every single year, dude. I buy it every single year, and I keep telling myself it's going to be better, it's going to change. It's been the same game for the past, 15 years. It really has been, and now they're showing new stuff. Now it's like, all the weather. I'm like, oh my gosh, this would be the best Madden today. I'm already bought in. I've already pre-ordered it. So, yeah. I'm trying to figure out how to get the beta to play the beta, but I don't know why. Madden's just one of those games where it's just like, I'll play it 2 seasons of a franchise. Like, all right, time to start another franchise. Like, I don't know. I think the most I've actually played a 15-year franchise before. I don't know how many people actually play 15-year franchises, but I played a franchise as a quarterback all 15 years just to try to break all the records. I've done it, but
I have done like 10 to 12. I think around 12 seasons in NBA. As my player, trying to break records and stuff like that. Single season records and like winning it, like, and just being the GOAT, like, just being like, Michael Jordan, suck it,
take this, Tom Brady. Hit this Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Peyton Manning, Drew Brees. No, but it's fun. And I mean, sometimes I'll play a quarterback. I'll have 3 different leagues going. I'm like, God, what do I feel like playing today? Oh, I'll go play my cornerback league. I'll play my quarterback league. I'll play my running back league. Or I'll have like a team league. I don't know. I'm a sicko when that comes to that kind of stuff. I just love Madden so much. And I probably shouldn't because it's been the same game. I could be playing, Madden 13. It's been the same game for the past 13, 14 years, so it doesn't really matter too much. But yeah, a lot of fun games, obviously, that have come out over the years. But what is the game that changed your view on gaming as a whole?
I want you to go first on this one.
Okay, so I took a different approach here. Obviously, growing up, we didn't have internet until I was in like junior high. So I think the game that really kind of changed my view on everything, we talked about, we'd have LAN parties. You would have people over to play, split screen, whatever. When I got internet, the first game I ever played online was Call of Duty Black Ops, the original Black Ops game.
That's the game I was going to pick.
Same one, yeah.
That's why I wanted you to go first because I was hoping you weren't going to pick it. But
yeah, it was Black Ops.
I wanted to make sure. Yes, because I stole your thing with Halo, so
yeah,
I figured. But yeah, it's a Black Ops for sure.
The first Black Ops, that's the first. I mean, obviously, getting that game, you don't really ever realize, how much you can actually be sucked into a game when you're playing online and you're not playing against bots. You're not playing against just your friends. You're playing against people that are all over the world. And I remember playing and first time I ever played, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm doing pretty good. And then you start to go and your KD gets up and then you get into these harder lobbies. And I'm like, whoa, what happened to the lobbies 5 games ago when I was destroying,
these 20 kills I was getting.
Yeah. What's going on?
Getting all the kill streaks and I got a nuke. No, I never got a nuke.
I thought that was the craziest thing.
Never got a nuke, but yeah.
I never realized like how the headsets and mics work to begin with. So I'd be like screaming and he'd be like, dude, shut up. And I'm like, oh, these guys can hear me. Okay, I've got to figure out how to mute people now and how can I mute people? But yeah, I mean, it literally just opened up a brand new world for me. And then, I mean, obviously I'm playing online ever since, and it's kind of become more toxic and more hostile. And I miss the days of when I first started playing, and no one was a streamer, no one was a YouTuber, no one was a content creator.
Like everyone's got TTV or something no one was on the back Twitch, of their name.
No one was on Twitch or TikTok. Like it was just playing to get your kills. And I remember the one guy that I actually watched, and everybody thought he was just God's gift to Call of Duty, his name was XJaws, and he played Call of Duty, and he was like one of the very first, that I remember watching, one of the very first like YouTubers that played Call of Duty and was like really good. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like this guy is crazy. And I remember going back, like I was like, I want to make these clips. I'm gonna do this, and I'd make clips, and I think I had my sensitivity set on like 3 or 4, and I'm like, literally back and forth, just everything's so slow. I'm like, how did I move like this? Like that's so crazy. But yeah, Call of Duty Black Ops, great game. I would say the second best game in the Call of Duty Black Ops franchise. Black Ops 2, what a great game. Love Black Ops 2. But you said Black Ops was yours, kind of the same reasons, or?
Yeah, the same exact reasons. Just getting in and like just having like and not having to go over to a friend's house and play.
Yeah,
and you could party up with them, and you always had your team. You always had your 5 or 6 guys that you had on your team, and when you're playing multiplayer games, and you're playing like Sticks and Stones, and you're playing Sticks and Stones, and you're playing just team deathmatch, and you're playing like Search and Destroy and all that stuff, and Capture the Flag, and you're like, this is sweet, and you're like, and you don't even, and at the point, like you don't even care what your KD is, like you're just having fun with your friends, and you're playing, and you get mad, and you're trying, you're making fun of these kids that are like Timmy tryhards and stuff, but yeah, it was a fun game.
It was a lot of fun, obviously.
And I haven't played Call of Duty in like 2 years, 3 years probably.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of games now are becoming more copy and paste.
I played Fortnite.
Copy paste. Yeah. Fortnite is
the no build in Fortnite is legit. Like I do the when I haven't played it in probably like 2 months.
Yeah,
but when they have 0 build now, so you don't have to worry about like sweat builders.
Yeah,
and they got like the OG. They still have OG, so you get like these OG maps and stuff. And like it's funny, like going into these games with some people, and like meeting some people, and then like they invite you to a party, and so you go and you're like, what do you like to play? And I was like, OG, and they're like, why do you like OG? And I'm like, because I played like when the game first came out.
Yeah.
It's
And
like they're like, what? Like you played when the game first came? Like these people are like playing, like didn't start until like last year when this game was already like 3-4 years old.
It's been around for a while, obviously, honestly, and I've played when it first came out, and then I played a little bit of the no build, and I'm just not a big Fortnite guy. I'm really not. I just not a fan of it.
I'm not it's free, so
yeah. And what we're still
but the updates are nuts.
Yeah, before we head to a quick break, I do want to bring up though Call of Duty Zombies. We completely forgot to bring up zombies. That was another thing too. I love playing zombies. Another thing you could just get together. I'd go over to Trenton's house all the time, and me and him would just play. Was it Kino der Toten? Whatever it was. It was the.
Would you just hide in the glitch?
No, was it Kino? It wasn't Kino. It was whatever the one was. That was World at War. That was the end of World at War. But the Black Ops, I think it was the
Call of Duty. So Call of Duty World War II. I know World War II had really good zombies.
Yeah,
Call of Duty World War II.
I can't remember what it was, but anyway, I think it was Kino. Maybe it wasn't. Anybody that's listening, you can correct me if I'm wrong. But we would play that forever. We'd go over there and like we got really good at it, and it was almost it was a blast. But after so long, it got kind of boring just because we had played it so much that we're just like we know what level we can get to, and if we get past that level by 1 or 2, that's cool. But basically, just wasting hours playing zombies. But a great game, or honestly, a really great game, and underrated. The earlier Call of Duties were extremely underrated, but we've actually got a little bit of video game evolution, console evolution coming up. But first, a quick word from Smackin' Sunflower Seeds. Smackin' Sunflower Seeds. Choose your flavor and enjoy some of the best seeds on the market. Smackin' goes above and beyond to make sure you have the perfect seed every single time. Enjoy their wide selection that they have to offer. Not sure what seeds to buy? Grab a variety pack and use code AVERAGE or scan our QR code for 10% off. All right, we are back here, and final 2 segments of this podcast, we've actually got the evolution of video games, kind of how they've changed. And as I was kind of diving into this, it's something I've thought about, but really haven't dove into in a while. So let's go ahead and start off. I picked 3 kind of topics or trends we can discuss a little bit. So obviously the biggest change that we have seen in video games and really in, animation in general has just been like the graphics, how well things are done. A big one, Call of Duty is a big one. Madden is a big one. Grand Theft Auto is a big one.
I would say any video game, honestly, that has like realistic people in it has changed like drastically.
Yeah, and I can't speak on this because I never play story. You ever play the story mode on any games at all? I'm not a big story mode guy, but
I would play. Back when I had Call of Duty games, before I had before I had the internet capacity to be able to play, I would play the storylines on that, on those. That's about it.
I never really played stories. I guess I'm kind of in the same boat before I had online, but like Call of Duty, like if I'm getting a Call of Duty and I had online.
And I guess I would do like the stories and the missions on Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, see, I never did that. I just go get a car and drive it around the airport or something like that. That was just what I would do. But I've heard from a lot of people, like, what's more important, graphics or a good story? A lot of people pick like, I don't care how good the graphics are, but if it's got a bad story, I'm not a fan. Exactly. Yep. So I mean, you can have bad graphics, but a good story. I think that draws people in a lot more than the graphics do, for sure. So that's kind of an easy one. Obviously, graphics have changed a lot. Multiplayer. All right. Couch co-op, like we just talked about, where you've got the 4 screens up there, you're all huddled around the TV, or online. I feel like they both have their perks. What do you prefer?
That's
a tough one.
If I'm a kid, if I'm thinking as a kid, I want to be with my friends.
Exactly. I'm kind of the same way.
As an adult,
I'd rather be in my house.
I just want to be in my house by myself. I don't really care.
I don't want to have to entertain. When we're little, our parents entertain. Parents are like, hey, can you throw some Tostitos in? Maybe make some brownies. We got ice cream. Maybe get some pizza. Now it's like, guys, just hop online here. I've got 25 minutes for the kids wake up. So let's go ahead and get a quick game of Madden or something in before they wake up.
You're sitting here talking like this because you don't want to be like,
yeah. Or like I yell really loud and I hear my wife comes down. Oh, sorry.
Courtney would do the same. Courtney would do that all the time. Like I would there'd be times like when I would like when I played Call of Duty, and I would be up. It'd be like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I start getting really, really loud, and she's like, "Will you shut up?"
Yeah. Oh man, we get way too into the game. For sure. It's gonna be hilarious because people that seen the podcast a while back, where it's just like,
or I'd be trash talking little kids, and she'd be like, "Are you serious? Like, are you a child? Like talking to kids? Like, now I was like, you should hear the way they talk to me."
No kidding. Those of you that are listening to this podcast, like, obviously video games don't consume our lives. Like, we're not just video gamers. We do get out of the house. We touch grass, as the kids say.
I do have a son. I have a. Look at that.
I've got a nice little burn. Yep, you can see how wide I am up here. Yep. But anybody that watched the podcast a while back, we were kind of trashing on like, kids don't get out of the house, enough and play sports. We played sports growing up. All right, we played sports. My dad would not let me be on a video game for more than, an hour or two. If it was the weekends, and I didn't have to do anything outside, help out with anything, or I didn't have a game, absolutely. But I was like, my parents are pretty strict. Come home, get your homework done, then you can play your video games. All right, it's a good way for me to, nice little treat at the end of the day for sure. But I think I agree with you. Being a kid, nothing's better than having your friends come over and play, even if it's split screen and you think they're screen peeking. It's just the experience. I think that's a blast. Now to kind of kind of a broader thing here. We've got open world games. How they started more linear to like the sandbox. You've got like your GTA to your Elden Ring, like then and now. So I've actually got this pulled up over here. Then you had more limited scope. Like I said, more linear. Now massive worlds you can kind of travel around in, and you'll see it a lot in the newer games coming out. Any of the survival games are just huge. The new Grand Theft Auto that's coming out is huge. The map is insane. More static environments way back then. So like the environments weren't too they were all right. They were a little dull. Let's put it that way. But now you've got a lot more like dynamic, interactive worlds. So, you chop a tree down, you actually pull out an axe and you're chopping a tree down. You're not just sitting there punching it over and over and again and then poof, it disappears. You've got like the actual interactions, the animations that go along with it. And you kind of honestly, we're talking about open world games, but you've seen it in Call of Duties and Battlefields. Call of Duties, it started out super basic, and then, you kind of see more of the destructive environments, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, it used to be in like Call of Duty and stuff. Like you just get like one shot and you're pretty much dead, and then it turned into you get shot once or twice, and then your like heart would start pumping and your screen gets all bloody and stuff like that. Yeah, it's completely different.
So like in objectives though too. So say if you're doing like a mission based game, like you said, if your car broke down in your driver game, it's over, you got to start over. Well, now there's like multiple solutions. So like there's not just one outcome that can happen in a video game. A lot of the story games now, there's multiple things that can happen. You can make choices. Your choices impact, how things go throughout the game that you're playing it, which is cool. And I think that's one huge thing that keeps people more engaged in a game, because you play one game story all the way through and you're like, okay, well, I know exactly how to get through this and what to do. Well, now you can kind of explore a little bit more. You can make your own choices, and that kind of impacts the rest of the game. So thought that was pretty cool. Then obviously we talked about it, more isolated single player games, and now online shared, tons of different worlds. You can create worlds, you can type in, especially if you're playing on PC, you can do like the little keywords and whatnot, and you can get these crazy worlds, depending if you're playing like Minecraft. And
let's not even talk about Ark, but like not even talk about like just the games in general, but the consoles. So like back when you bought a console, you couldn't save anything unless you had a memory card.
A memory card, yeah.
And
we had
kids have kids. I mean, they have hard drives now that you can buy like extra hard drives for, but kids these days have no clue what it was like to have to save certain things. What you're like, what do I save on? Yeah, and it was not like, and the gigabytes were not like
It
what they
was
are now.
nothing.
Like there's
No.
one
It's
Fortnite,
terabytes
one
now. Yeah.
Fortnite update is
Yeah.
more gigabytes than
The storage that one of those
storage that
consoles had.
one of the consoles had back then.
Yeah. It's crazy because you've seen it evolve too. So like we started out with the little memory cards you had for like your PlayStations, PlayStations 2s. And then I remember I had like an Xbox and I'm like, oh, I'm going to get like a terabyte, like an actual, it was like a little brick you plugged in. So it was like an external one you could like save to that. And now it's all on my PC. Like I'm looking down here and, I even built this thing and I couldn't tell you where the memory sticks are.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. It really is. Like, and I always remember too, growing up, you had to go somewhere. It's like, oh, I think I can get on really quick and make it to this checkpoint before I have to get off. I don't make it to the checkpoint, I'm going to have to start all over. And your parents be like, hey, let's go. And it's like, I'm not to the checkpoint yet. Now it's like, oh, hey, we got to go. Boom, turn it off. I could turn my PC or leave my PC running. Like I wouldn't dare leave my PlayStation running. I'm afraid my house would catch on fire. But now I'll leave my PC running, come back home if it's a game. But most games now, as soon as you leave, when you boot it back up, you could be falling from the sky, turn it off, and then come back and you're still falling from the sky.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But it's really cool though how things have changed. The last thing I've got here is then was focused on size, and then now is focused more on the depth and how you interact within games. So obviously there's a lot more interactions, more depth that goes into each one of these games that are created. And we're talking more of like I said, the open world sandbox games. There's just so much that goes into these games now. And obviously what Grand Theft Auto, I can tell you right now, is going to be an extremely interactive game because, it's been in production now for how many years? But,
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy how consoles have evolved and like how like just everything, technology in general, just with everything in general. But but the video, like just the graphics and everything, it kind of makes everything completely different.
Yeah, for sure. So here's the next one, the next little topic here as I was kind of going through this list, and it was the DLC changes, kind of like how things have monetized, the monetization model as the years have gone on. So we have the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, the 2010s, 2013, 2019, and the 2020s to now. So I want you to tell me, out of all of these, which one you preferred and if you kind of like the way this is trending or if you don't. So 1980 to 1990s, you had one-time purchase. So you wanted a game. That's another thing. You go to the store, you buy the game. Go to the store and buy the game. Now I can sit in the comfort of my home, click a button. As long as my credit card information's on there,
and
boom,
the crazy thing about buying a DVD now or the disc now, you have to you can't just put it into your console and play it. You have to download it to play it. So you might as well just buy it from the App Store.
GameStop, CDs, DVDs, we talked about it earlier, dude. They're all going to become obsolete. It's only a matter of time. Like what midnight releases, like I remember so badly I wanted to go to midnight releases and my parents would never let me go to a midnight release, but just like standing in line to go to a GameStop to get a game. And now it's just like, oh, this game comes out. Oh, I can pre-order it. Let me just go ahead and pre-order that. And then I can, get the early access or whatever. It's just, there's not really a buildup anymore. It's just like, it's one click, you've got it. So, now while the one-time purchase, it was cool. Obviously we kind of advanced as things progressed here. So late 1990s, early 2000s, you've got physical expansion. So that's like early DLCs. So now we're starting to get the DLCs. Now it's, you get some add-ons to these games, which were great. But they kind of took a turn for the worst, in my personal opinion, and I'll see if you agree with me. So DLCs were great. All right. Those add-ons were awesome. Well, now you get the microtransactions. All right. So now it's like the digital storefronts. Like, oh, do you want to buy this? Oh, do you want to buy this? So now all these DLCs, they start to cost more and more money. And I feel like it's a money grab. And I know for a fact it is because, some of the stuff's, I feel like it's just put out there like, oh, let's throw these 4 maps out there. They're okay, but they're nothing special. But people are going to buy them because everybody wants to be, have this new map.
Yeah,
or, hey, there's new guns out here. And that's from like 2000s to 2010s. And now 2013, 2019, you've got the loot boxes, season passes, live services. this is where I really don't like it. This is what I feel like's kind of ruining games a little bit. And I'll get to that as soon as I go through the 2020s to now. It's battle passes. What's really nice though, they have come out within the past 5 years, free to play games. That's awesome, especially with the PC. Having free to play games are sweet. But then you got the subscriptions. So like you want Xbox Game Pass, boom, buy a subscription, you get all these extra perks. And then cosmetic only stores. So what's your opinion on that? Do you think the DLC and microtransactions ruin gaming, or do you think that they have helped gaming? Because my personal opinion, it's a pay to play, pay to win type of thing. Like if you want,
I just think it's absolutely insane the amount of people that pay the amounts of money that they do to play some of these games. Like the amount of money that some people pay to play Fortnite is ridiculous.
Oh, and get the skins, and it's the same thing too.
Get the battle pass, which is fine. It's $10, and the battle pass comes out like not even once a month. I'm probably gonna get.
They have seasons.
I'm probably gonna get crapped on for all that because like I don't know like when it comes out and whatever. But
they have seasons, so like it's one of those things too.
So
they
like
it's
a new season, new battle pass, whatever.
Yep.
But same thing with Call of Duty. People go in and they buy skins and they buy songs and they buy all of this stuff and they spend like hundreds of dollars on just to look cool in the game. Like that blows my mind.
Well, it's the same thing too.
Same thing. Call of Duty's the same way. You can do the same thing.
Call of Duty's like, oh, here, buy the battle pass. Would you like to spend an extra $30 to buy the first 50 tiers? And then, you know, a lot of these content creators, they have somebody else grind the game for them and they just use the guns. And it's just like in a matter of a day, they've got everything unlocked. They're showing off. I mean, obviously that's how they make their living, is doing that kind of thing. But, you know, it's crazy. I personally think it's kind of ruining gaming a little bit, because obviously if you got the money, great, you can buy all this stuff and you can show it off and have all the cool skins. But you know, if you don't, you're just stuck with all the basics, and you know, it is what it is. I think I rocked the original Call of Duty skin. Now they have the unlocks you can do and whatnot, but I don't know, all the microtransactions, I feel like you can dig yourself into a hole there pretty quick with all the stuff you can buy as far as like the cosmetics go. And you know, the emotes and whatever you want to buy. I mean, you can buy literally everything now.
You're already You're already paying to play online anyways. Like you're paying what is it, like $100 a year or something like that?
It's insane. Yeah, I mean,
to be just to be able to play online.
Well, that's what we're talking about too. And we are, like I said, with Madden, we're so sucked into these games that they could release a game that's exactly the same. Call of Duty's been releasing games that have been, you know, basically carbon copies of it, and we're playing War, and everybody like the Warzone keeps going back or coming back, and it's the same game with updated graphics and new guns.
Blackout? Was it Blackout? The first one?
Blackout, I wasn't a big fan of that one, but a lot of people did like that. But now you've got like your Warzones and your Rebirths.
I mean, that's every single new single new Warzone. Or Rebirth is pretty much the same thing, just a couple different guns, maybe a couple different skins, maybe. Yeah, but it's all the same.
And Rebirth, the tower blew up, or like the water tower fell down, and the lighthouse blew up, whatever. And it's small changes, but it's one of those things that we are so conditioned with, where it's just like, oh man, that's awesome. Let me go ahead and get this and play it. And then I can honestly say, and I'm ashamed to admit this, I bought the last Call of Duty, pre-ordered the last Call of Duty. Just so I could play early access, right? Play the beta, whatever. Played the beta. I never downloaded the full game. I spent $70 or $80 and never actually played. When the game dropped, I never played it. Not once did I download that game.
So do you know anyone that plays still?
My brother played a little bit. Josh played for a little bit, and I think Zeb and Kodo. And you know, we used to play all the time, like all the time. Warzone, when Warzone first came out, but I'm just like, man, I'm tired of, like, I don't have the time, you know, with kids and stuff like that. It's just like you're playing one game of Warzone. I mean, that could last anywhere from 30 seconds when you drop in to, you know, 30 minutes. So it just depends. But yeah, I don't know. I would rather play Madden. And people are probably going to get a lot of hate for that.
Lately, I've been seeing on, and like, I've been seeing on TikTok, these people playing PGA. And I
play it as well.
But the only bad thing is I got a PS4.
Yeah.
So I can't get these new PGA games.
That's the thing too.
The
like
newest PGA game I can get is the Tiger one, and it's
Yeah.
so expensive. It's like 2022, 23.
Yeah.
And then you can get like the special edition, like the Tiger edition or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I will say, since we're running a little short on time, I will say the free-to-play games are a blast, though. You know, you can get a lot of free-to-play games that are a lot of fun. But like I said, you could used to be able to play games that you have a PlayStation 2. You know, you could play PlayStation 1 games. They're backwards compatible. Not anymore. Nothing's backwards compatible. Like even the new NCAA that came out last year and the one coming out this year for Xbox and PlayStation. I can't get it on PC. It's an exclusive for those two, and I'm like, whatever. You know, I'll be fine playing Madden like I do every single year. So I know it's crazy, but we have one final question, and you can chime in on this if you want to. Just to leave the listeners with something to think about. If you could reboot one forgotten franchise, what would it be, and how would you change it? And I'm going to give my 2 cents here. NFL Street 2, if they could do a reboot of that game, it was an absolute blast. I love playing that. It was just, you know, a fun take on a football game, backyard style. You could jump off walls, catch the ball, you know, hit people really hard, fumbles be going flying in the air. And it was just a blast. It was a lot of fun. But I don't know if you had one at all. A franchise that you'd like to see rebooted?
I would love to see backyard sports come back, like backyard baseball, backyard basketball.
Those were fun.
To see that. Like, so I love backyard baseball, but that's another game that I played all the time was backyard basketball, and it was so fun. Like, you get all these perks and everything. Like, it was just a fun game. Like, I would like to see backyard come back, like backyard baseball. Bring Pablo back. Let me hit dingers in the backyard. Just bring it back. Bring the nostalgia back a little bit.
I mean, no kidding. There were so many games that you could remake that people would buy them. I mean, obviously, you don't have to change them at all. You can just improve the graphics a little bit, make them the same exact game. People are going to buy them.
Yep.
But all right, last thing before we get out of here, we have a sports bracket we're going to transition over to today or tonight as well. So we're going to let the voters once again check out the sports bracket and see what they like to see moving on into the Elite Eight. So these are all sports games, and now don't at me. I know I've got WWE on there. I know I've got Tony Hawk's Pro Skater on there. They are sports. So let's go ahead and go through this bracket, and we're gonna have people.
Don't at me.
Don't at me.
Everyone at him.
Yeah,
at him. Did everyone blow him up and say that? That wrestling is not a sport.
Yeah,
or skateboarding.
Yeah. You know what?
Just say it.
You're not hurting my feelings. You're gonna be hurting everybody in the WWE universe's feelings
as they're crying while they're wiping their eyes with $100 bills.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay, so let's go ahead and go through this new bracket. This is something new we're going to do at the end of every single one of our podcasts. So as long as we're doing podcasts, we're going to have brackets at the end. We decided to stay on pace with the sports theme, talking about video games, and really didn't want to be too broad here. So we decided to go top 16 games here. Now, I keep getting the hate all the time. It's like, why isn't this game on here? Why isn't this game on here? I just let AI do this. I really do. I ask AI, hey, give me like what you think the top 16 games are over the past, 20, 30, 40 years. And these were the games that
I really don't think
spit out.
It did that bad.
It really didn't. It really didn't. So let's go ahead. And those of you that are watching on YouTube, you can see this graphic. Those of you that are listening on podcast form, we'll go ahead and go through.
Or putting Rocket League in a sports.
Yeah. We're going to get there. Don't give too many spoilers. All right. It's not that high of a seed. No, it's not that high of a seed. Okay. Phew. All right. We've got on the left side of the bracket here, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 going up against number 16 seed Tiger Woods PGA Tour 2004.
Oh, man. That is a crazy 16 seed.
That could be an upset right out of the gate. Number 9, Punch Out against number 8, NCAA Football 14. I will say, I have not played all these games. So those are the people that are out there that played these games.
So
I played a majority.
I have played 1, 2. The ones we've talked about, I've played 3 of the 4. I've never played Punch Out.
I haven't either. A lot of these games are older too. Like if those of you that are looking at the graphic, we have NBA Jam, the arcade version on there. So you're going to have a variety to choose from. Number 4 seed Wii Sports against the number 13 seed Fight Night Round 4. Number 12, NHL 94 against number 5, Madden NFL 2005. All right. Right side of the bracket, number 2, NBA 2K11. Not a big NBA guy, but it must have been
just
a
a little
one.
background on the people who don't know about NBA 2K11. So NBA 2K11, I'm pretty sure. Let me look real quick.
Well, 2K11 is going up against number 15 seed NBA Street Volume 2, and I'm just now realizing how many NBA games I have on here because while you're looking that up, we'll go number 10 seed NBA Jam Arcade against number 7 seed SSX Tricky. For those of you that don't know what that is a snowboarding game, which I did play growing up.
Yeah, I've played that snowboarding game too.
Yeah.
Pretty fun.
Let's go ahead and round it out here. We got number 3, FIFA 12, which I'm not a big FIFA guy either, but I know a lot of people that love FIFA. Against number 14, one of my personal favorites, this is another nostalgic game, was WWE SmackDown. Here Comes the Pain. Oh, Brock Lesnar on the cover of that. Number 11, Rocket League. I know. It's still kind of a sport, even though you're driving a car. Against number 6, NFL 2K5. Very underrated football game, 2K version. So there is the top 16. Make sure to vote. Leave it in the comments. Let's get a lot of people sharing this out, sharing with your friends, getting a lot of votes on here. I'd love to have 30, 40 comments to cycle through to kind of see who's moving on to the Elite 8 here.
Yeah.
So
back to the NBA 2K11. It's not just an NBA 2K game. It is the Jordan game. So it is.
Yes, yep. And you can see it down here in the bottom left-hand corner. You can see Jordan.
It is the Jordan game where it has his flu game. You play as his flu game. You play as his buzzer beater game against the Jazz. You have a whole bunch of these record-breaking games or just nostalgic games that he has. I'm not a huge Jordan fan. I know he's the GOAT, but that game is goated. That game is probably one of the funnest NBA games I ever played. Just for the fact that you're going through Jordan's career and you're playing these games. Like, you can obviously score more points than what happens, but if you don't score it, then you have to keep trying to beat it. So if you don't do it, you just keep trying to beat it. So that game in general is it's a number 2 seed, so it's a high seed, but that is a very, very, very underrated video game.
Yeah. And I'm trying to add an S onto sports here. It will not let me add an S. So apparently this is just going to stay Wii Sport. I'm clicking S's and they're just refusing to write in here. So, all right, cool. All right, yeah, but that is the top 16 games there. Like I said, vote on these. Elite 8, we'll do that next podcast. So that'll be next week. Next week's podcast, a little tease. Casey and I are going to the cinemas. We are going to be watching a movie. We're not going to spoil the movie we're watching, but we'll be reviewing that on next week's podcast. So stay tuned for that. If you guys enjoyed this episode, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe. We'll catch you guys in the next one. All right, I got to end this thing now.
Just leave it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.